Hi, this is Deetra Kelsey, host of Sister Talk TV show. What you're watching is Sister Talk after the live telecast. And with me from the live telecast is Kim Weston-MORAN.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good.
You know, I had a great time with her during the live telecast. I wanted to do it again after the live telecast. Kim, you told me about your career and all that, but this event that's coming up.
Yes.
What's the name of it again?
It's called the 3rd Annual Evening in Appreciation of Trailblazing Women and Arts Institutions.
Arts Institution. Mind you, also Kim is the CEO and founder of Rhythm Color Associates and Potpourri.
Right,
yes.
Potpourri.
Potpourri.
Right.
Oh, wow, you're doing a lot. Yeah.
I am, and I need to get a hold of it and start earlier because it is a lot.
So tell us about this award, and why. I know you said during the live telecast, but why are you doing this?
I just think it's important to bring to honor women or people while they're still living. You know, to give people their props while they're still living. And a lot of women do not, some of these women are executives or administrative, but they run things, but nobody acknowledges them. So I just wanted to acknowledge people who have helped me, and I see help a lot of upcoming artists or producers or directors in the business. And some of the women are helm organizations, and some of them are just individual artists, like June Terry, who is the oldest. I don't know how old June is. She's somewhere in her 80s. But this woman, she gets around like a good woman should. I mean, she lets no grass. She is always supporting people. She was a costume designer at one point. She still dances. And she also, is a painter.
Oh, really?
She paints, and she makes jewelry, and it's a funny world because my mother and June were together back in the 60s because my mother used to design and come to Harlem because I'm from Brooklyn, and her and June would model some of her designs. And so we just gave my mother 89th birthday, and June came all the way, that's not why I'm giving her an award, but she came all the way from her, wherever she lives in Manhattan, public transportation, and came and enjoyed my mom's party. Okay. And so that's a history, but I've just known her for years, contributing to arts in some way and supporting, and always there supporting, you know, in the audience. So
when is this event?
It's Sunday, April 29th. It's the VIP reception and auction is 5 to 6:30. At 6:30 is the actual award ceremony, and 7:30 to 9:30 is dinner and dancing.
You are the daughter of a great jazz musician. What's his name?
His name is Randy Weston.
What did he
African Rhythms.
African
He plays
Rhythm.
the piano. He just made 92 last week.
Wow, okay.
And he was playing, every year he plays at the Jazz Standard for his birthday.
Really? Wow.
For at least 4 or 5 days. And he's amazing. I mean, as a human being, and just to be that age and
when you
still
say he's
giving.
amazing, what do you say?
Well, I mean, he's an amazing artist, but he's also an amazing human being, you know, and he stuck to his guns when people were talking about jazz, jazz, jazz. He said, no, this music is derivative of Africa. All music is. And a lot of people don't like to say that, but jazz is the only original classical music that came out of America. That's our classical music, jazz. America's classical music.
You know, I always ask people this. Where did you get this gumption from? And you just said, I'm listening to you, your mom, and your dad.
My dad was a great influence in the sense that from the time we were young, he taught us about African kings and queens. We had to read books from the time we were young. That's what all he talked about is know your history. So I got, needless to say, I got in a lot of trouble in school because they would be not telling the truth, and I would tell the truth, and they were like, "That's not true. There were no kings and queens," you know. And I'm saying, you know, it's true. But and my mom to me is the original trailblazer. Okay. My mom worked in the community for over 35 years, different programs from the beginning of Neighborhood Youth Corps in Bushwick to CORE, to different places she worked. She did parenting. She taught girls in our basement how to sew when we were growing up in Bushwick. And then she eventually opened her own shop, and it didn't last as long as it could have. It was called the Shop for Beautiful People, and it was one of a kind. So, you know, she would design one of a kind. But I find people will go to, at that time it was Alexander's or Macy's, they would go there and give that money before they would give an independent, you know.
Wait a minute, you won 4 Adelco Awards.
No, I've been nominated for 4, and I won for Don't Explain, that was directed by Rome Neal at the New Eurekan with Ron Cephas Jones, and that was a piece that was about, I played the wife of Lee Morgan, and I shot him, because in real life, she shot him 2 doors away from the New Eurekan, because that's where, oh God, I can't even think of the space, not Smalls, but I can't even think of the club right now, but 2 doors down from the New Eurekan was where the club was, and she came in and shot him off the stage because, you know, he was on drugs and he was messing around and taking her out of her whole self, because she had started shooting up at one point and a lot of stuff, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, so that was an exciting role.
It was really exciting. It was a real good
see
stretch.
You doing that.
It was a real great stretch, you know.
As a producer, tell me the highlights of your productions you have produced.
Well, I have of late been doing a lot of staged readings, but a couple of the pieces we have had like 3-day readings, and I've directed some, and we have guest directors. And basically what potpourri is, it's for seasoned and also emerging women writers. And the last few years I've added 1 male, as long as the play was about a woman or a screenplay was about a woman, and we've done about 3 so far. And basically what we do, I think we're unique in the sense that we give you a dramaturg to work with, and then we give you a reading, and then we have audience feedback, and then you have 2 weeks to go back home and work on it based on the feedback you got and working with the dramaturg and present it again. And then if it's a piece that we feel really strongly about, come the summer or the fall, we give it a 3-day intensive reading with backers so that you get an opportunity to invite some people to see if they want to produce it or... Yeah, and some of the pieces, even though we haven't had a lot of outside producers come in, but the playwrights themselves sent it to Theater for the New City. A couple of our pieces been done Theater for the New City. Some have toured, been to New Orleans. So
from Wild Cafe, right?
Well, Wild is the member. That's just the place I leave.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
The last 2 years is Wild, but before that, I had a lot of. I used to go to a lot of different spaces, like La Maison de Art in Harlem. She's a strong supporter of the arts.
Oh,
you know, it's a great space. She's French, but. No, I'm just saying she's French, but she offers a platform for a lot of diasporic artists. I've worked with Billie Holiday upstairs in the gallery. I've also had readings in the main stage when Jackie was there, Jackie Alexander. So
yeah, I know Jackie.
And then Ken Kelleher Gallery on East 2nd Street, which is the oldest black, you guys should know this, the oldest black art gallery in maybe New York, but maybe America. And they've had it for close to 50 years, and they own 3 buildings there. And he came in at that wave where he was able to get buildings for $1. You know, when Pap got his, and he's got 3 buildings there. He's trying to do a museum, but they're in their 80s. Well, he's in his 80s, so I don't know. But they've been working on trying to do a museum. So several spaces around the city, and I can't name them all right now. Oh, Dixon Place has been highly supportive of potpourri. Yeah.
So you've been doing pretty well as a producer.
I wouldn't say financially, but definitely creatively. Part of the problem is, and no reflection on anybody, you know, being a producer, you have to eat a lot of shit, and you have to eat everybody's shit, because if they make mistakes, it's you. You're the executive producer.
You're talking about the director,
people who work with you, not the directors, other producers if you work with people or whatever. it's reflected on you. So a lot of times I did have people who I loved very dearly, but a lot of people don't want to do the work. You know what I mean? They want to be at the door and they want to say they're a producer, but they don't want to do the work, like going to get some sponsors or go, you know, even if it's wine or basic things that would help.
Do you think it's because of the fast generations now, you know, because each generation is faster and faster?
I don't know.
I want it now.
I deal with people my generation, a lot of them, the producers of my generation. No reflection on anybody, because I'm grateful for everybody who came through and helped, but this is a new institution. It's easy to hook onto an institution that's been around for 30, 40, 50 years. It's already got a reputation. But when you have a new one, you have to build it. Right. And I am institutional. I'm trying to build an institution. I'm trying not to quit. I'm coming up on my 10th year, and it's very difficult. But, you know, there's a saying that if you keep doing the same thing over and over, you're crazy. So this year, hopefully, I am going to get, because Aixa has been telling me to get interns. Aixa Kendrick. And she helped with the branding a few years ago. And she was very helpful. But because I do so much, I don't have a chance to write the grants or to ask for money correctly. So this year, I'm going to start in the summer. I'm going to start like in June. Well,
tell us some of your, okay, first, the award that's coming up. This is your 3rd year. Tell us about the other 2 awards. Who did you recognize?
Yeah, my first year I went overboard. Vosa is my associate producer from New Heritage Theater, and different ones have, you know, joined me. This year I'm back with my old friend Anthony Jones is associate producing this one, and Tisa Chang. The first year I did about 10 or 11 people. But that was too many. But I just didn't know if I was going to keep doing it or what. So I wanted to hit people that really affected me in my life, or I had great respect for. And Tisa Chang, of course, the late, great Dr. Gertrude Jeanette, who I call the General. She was a mentor of mine.
She just passed away.
She just passed away, 104 years old.
104? Okay,
yes.
Wow.
And she made a great impact when I was starting out professionally. She taught me how to walk a stage, and I always say that Roger Furman taught me how to make an entrance. So these are people that have great impact on passing that torch to young people, and they had their own spaces, and that made a very strong with me.
Tell us about on your website. You have some plays that you have done.
Right.
You know, can you at least?
Yeah. This past March, we have a piece, and I'm really excited about. Is written by Freedom L, and it's called The Laundry Room. And Freedom is an interesting character. I just met her at an event Rome was doing 2 months ago, but I can't remember her original name from years ago. They called her Yogi. She sang with Sekou. She sang behind everybody who was anybody. And she is a phenomenal talent. Who knew she was playwriting? So that piece deals with women's transformation. And it's about these 5 black women that meet weekly in this laundry room. And they're from different walks of life. And they really are trying to cut through the negative images of themselves and trying to break through chains that bind them. And so they end up going to the water and doing a whole healing spiritual kind of thing. But all the stuff reaching up to that is what's so interesting, the relationships. We have a gay woman, we have a lawyer whose father had abused her. So it's different stories. You know, we have a young African woman who is here trying to go to college, and she's, you know, dealing with older men and making money. And we have a Muslim woman, and we have quite an array. And there was a woman who worked with us, and she wants to make it into a film, so now we're working on a screenplay for it.
Great, that's great.
And I have a piece called 1969, and that's an interesting piece. We've done 3 readings of it already, and the writer is out of L.A. She's 80 years old, and she puts us to shame. Wow. She told me the other day, I'm back in the gym, Kim. So I said, okay, you know, I got something to look forward to. Wow. So she, we did it 3 times, and we worked on it and worked on it. So we want to give it a backers reading here, but we also want to give it a reading and try to get stars and see if we can get some people to produce it as a film. Because it deals with the whole 1969, the revolutionaries, like a Black Panther type group, and a bougie family. You know, I say this, and I know, you know, Black people are groupies. You know, if you say something famous, they're there. You know, and that's a problem as a producer I'm having also, is not saying the work isn't good, but if Signature Theater or the Public Theater is producing a black work, everybody is there. They'll drop that $30, $40, $50 or Broadway. But when it comes to my little producing, which is new works, presented by a woman of color, and I made it not to be limited to African American or diaspora. I want it to be global because I want to show the connections in the universe. Even though each person is, each culture is individual, we're still all connected, and we do the same things, you know,
just like everybody else. So this inspired you to your event. We're going to get back.
I know you want to get to the event.
I know. I think that's so great, though, that what you're doing, your event that's coming up.
I have some great artists. Kelvin Bell. I don't know if anybody knows Kelvinator, funk, rock, jazz, blues. Nkosi, and let me get his last name right. Nkululeko, and he's a young 22-year-old pianist, and he's also New York Poet Laureate from 2 years ago. And he was raised in the arts. His mother homeschooled all the boys, but the two oldest boys went to regular school by junior high school.
So not only you're recognizing the trailblazers, but you're having people up and coming there too. You're getting experience, seasoned,
and up and coming. Seasoned, and I mean, everybody needs a play, you know, to be seen and to be remembered. That they're even around sometimes. Sometimes they do a gig, they get another gig.
So what's the 3 people you're honoring?
I'm honoring 5. I'm honoring Lizette McCants from Divos and Volunteer Divos and Divas. She also does Torchbearers, where I told you earlier. I'm honoring Karen Brown from the Negro Ensemble Company. I think she's been the executive director for the last 3 years, and it seems like much longer. She's done a lot of work in 3 years. Honoring, as I said, June Terry, and she's an arts muse, dancer, painter, costume designer. Melody Brooks, she is the artistic director of New Perspectives Theater. And who's the last one? Oh, Kim Clark. And Kim Clark is a jazz, I'll just say bassist extraordinaire, because she's not limited to jazz. I mean, that might be her love, but she plays everything. And she also is the founder, in its coming up on its 17th year, of Lady Got Chops. And it's, I keep saying jazz festival, but it actually is a music and arts festival, which she does during Women's Month, Women's History Month.
Wow, you're doing it up. I can't wait I am going to come to that. You know, you're doing it up, you know. You know, Kim, I appreciate you coming here. I really do. I want to... This is Sister Talk TV show. What we do is unapologetically give black women a voice.
And we appreciate you.
Say what you have to say, you know. And I look forward to your future projects, and you have a big supporter, big cheerleader here.
And I want to read your works. You're writing. I want to read some of your new pieces and put it in the series. Why not?
Okay, why not? You got it. I'll do that. Okay, this is Deetra Kelsey, host of Sister Talk TV show, and what you have just seen was Sister Talk after the live telecast. And as always, I'm wishing you peace, love. Remember to stay in the light. Sister Talk.